My name is Abhijit Bansod. Thank you so much, Mukhi, for the introduction. I'm glad to be here. Uh, and I'm going to take you through a couple of things. But before I start, I would like to pay tribute to MP Ranjan. He's one of the finest design faculty or teacher we ever had. He taught us a basic design process, and that is so strong and so fundamentally amazing that we could start our day with the chocolate design or a lollipop for Africa, and we end up at probably electric car, and everything fits in between. Uh, he really was a thinker, a visionary, and a very strong uh, sort of strong advocate of Indian design and what the design thinking could play an important role in country like India. His work spans across craft to policy making, and he's taught us amazing to look around us and really figure out where you come from and what you can really contribute at large to society. So, so during this period, I think that is amazing thing like the many elements of our life which influence our thing, and one of them is culture. Culture is very funny thing. I'm Marathi, my wife is Punjabi, and my daughter don't know who she is right now. Uh, she's picked up a couple of things from both the cultures and made her something of her own. And that's really amazing because we are truly beginning to find which could be an Indian culture which is emerging with the next generation. There's the sense of belonging is different. Sense of belonging is not where I come from, but the sense of belonging where I am. And I think that is really defining what the culture should be. This culture culture tells amazing stories, right? Where, and it's about you, it's about your life. And these are some of the, I'm going to take you through a couple of ingredients of design recipes which I believe could create amazing Indian design stories. So culture brings stories to our life, and culture design, it connects to the people's everyday life. Design means so many things to so many people. This is from a product designer to a system designer. It means very different world. But I'm going to talk about the romantic idea of design, which is completely mad about something and really getting possessive about something and finding that some difference you want to make to life, which will change the world. And that naive thought and that very childish, kiddish thought, which sets a design thinking apart from the rest of the professions. It brings a lot of positive thinking and really finding solution in given context, whatever the problem could be. There are many great examples, and design today is really integrated in many processes. It brings amazing elegance to the beauty of our life. Technology. Technology for me is really amazing because technology has given access to, it is truly democratic something. It's given access to so many different things in last 10 years or decade or so. It's changed our life completely. It's given us, it's in some way democratic. It's crossed the borders. I have given a platform. I got a platform where I could really speak about something. I could find my own friends and even get a likes on that. As compared to a few years back, I may not be able to even talk in a public because I'm an introvert person. I think it's truly something amazing which is happening because of technology. It's given us access to unbelievable amount of possibilities in our life. This is a very, so one of the important part, I realized that, last week I had to go to IT office, income tax office. And you can imagine if you wake up in the morning thinking you have to go to income tax office to get some paperwork done. It gave me almost a pukish feeling in my stomach, entering those offices. And the whole interaction was unbelievably sad. It took me 1 year to get my paperwork done at IT office. And that frustration, I came out and I sat in Uber cab and realized that, my God, these guys have done something amazing. these guys have hacked the frustration. I remember whenever I used to come, when all of us have traveled abroad and we came back, when you give these India forms to fill in, the immigration forms, oh my God, I have to deal with custom guys. Second, I have to deal with taxi walas when I go out. And that was a frustration level, almost you could plan how I'm going to react to this guy who's going to pound on me and jump on me saying that, kahan jana hai types, So this hack the frustration, like knowing the frustration in a system is extremely important to really come up with something which can really change the rules of this game. Uber is done unbelievable. It's created, for me, it created a platform where it's built a mutual respect for two people. One is a passenger and one is a driver. From a transaction, it's becoming an engagement model. He's rating us and we are rating them. Isn't that unbelievable, Gamified, we have, I think games we love to play, and if you look at all our walls and all our little suitcases, we will keep even the silliest and the smallest medal and the certificates we have ever received in your life. But you will never put your fat salary slip on the wall, and because it's part of our life. We love gaming, we love winning, we love competing, we love those rewards, we love those little things we're going to get at that. They value it so much. If you have to really, what we need to do is to really get this motivation, enjoyment and rewards back in the design process. As Klaus talked about empathy, and this is one of the finest gifts of design thinking, of being like someone. Don't sympathize, being like someone, be that person. And it really brings in a very different kind of perspective on the design thinking, what we're really doing. Empathy also means you being very sensitive to people, you've been sensitive to the context, you're sensitive to surrounding, and really creating love through this little thought process what you have. We have taken examples of always say that, there is a Singapore Airlines and rest is others. There is a Taj Hotel experience and rest are others. There is something which they have embedded this empathy and the thinking of being extremely human, being extremely like a customer, and then bringing that something back at home. So this is the design recipe which we work on, and I personally like, to really bring it far more engaging model in that for myself. The culture and design really, design celebrate cultures. Technology as, it's access to everything. You cannot live without technology. You just really make the whole thing interesting and fun. You add a little bit of empathy and hack the frustration. So I'm go back to the karma of design and where I started and thing. So as my father used to really, as probably I was 4-year-old, 5-year-old, he used to talk about if you don't finish your food and if you don't listen to parents, next life you will be a bat. And he had this weird theory about bat. So I said, why, what happened to the bat? So he said, they hang upside down. So I said, so their poop goes into their mouth, this whole story. And I really believed it as a kid. They said, what? And sounds really weird, but it really made me difference. I'll quickly eat the things and that, my God, poop in my mouth, okay. I don't want to hang upside down in my next life. It is really amazing that we have, as Indians, we can't even fulfill our one life and we worried about your next life, and in some way, all those little philosophies, if you look at, there's this design thinking, without marketing, we have managed to take yogas and Ayurvedas and the Bollywoods of the world across. So there is something which we have, which we need to translate that and just make it into the global stories. So karma for me, a very important factor in our life. And I truly believe in that. On the lighter note, it only applies to poor nations. Otherwise, all the US president would have been dead by now, but they live till 90 and happily everywhere, So, so karma for us is what goes around, what comes around. That's a very notion of, karma we have seen. you do something today, you're going to pay for tomorrow. I mean, you search now, there's so much of interpretation of karma, which is across on website, you will find a lot of people are talking about. Uh, just take a look at this. I will just, can you sound please? Sound.
อย่าทำอย่างนี้อีกนะ
Rồi, cao lẩu. Chọn, này này này.
ป๊า
จัดไปอ้าวสั่งมาเร็วต่ออะไร
So, I mean, that's the notion that I have to either wait 30 years to get my good deeds come back to me, or maybe a next life, which is in case of Indian context. If we show this to today's generation, which gets a ping in fraction of second, they'll say, are you kidding me? 30 years, I'm going to wait for this to pay me back. Please, find somebody else. I'm not going to be part of this. So I was thinking that how design thinking and technology could make something called instant karma. And can this come back quickly in one form or other? Can technology really help to make being good a fashionable statement? Can it really capture a... This is my karma, by the way. Okay, speak like that. Yeah, so the instant karma, it's like instant offer, like the instant everything. We want everything now and now. So we just thinking of what could this be. Is there a way we can build a karma system which is just about taking a responsibility for own action on 3 areas, which is environment, human, and social. And though it sounds really preachy, and hence I talked about the gamification, and hence we talked about bringing a very large mass because of very interesting stories of that. Could we? Yeah, thanks. So karma really it's a system which is designed, very light-hearted system designed so that people could take their responsibility, get rewarded for what they do, and they get aware of they have to pay for what they haven't. So karma meter is a very simple RFID-based band, which really allows people to capture various actions of their life, and then it just brings in a different system. So you wear this band, and at different aspects of your life, daily, 24 hours, it will capture various moments and various triggers, which will help capture how much you're consuming, how many good things you've done, are you recycle your things properly or not. So it's just a simple reward system or the payback system to either government, environment, societies, NGOs. It could work on various levels on that. So karma tree. So our generation is already gone. I'm 40 plus. I don't know how much I can give it back with how much I have consumed. But can we start this with kids? And ideas to really involve kids with something that you have to earn. You cannot get anything ready-made. So idea was to really bring in a little karma tree where they have to do the task, and once the tasks are done, they get a little, little fruit which they can hang it on a tree, which reflect on the small app they have on the mobile phone. Uh, so I'm going to take one small story of somebody, a kid called Adi. Uh, so Adi got this little game, at home, and he started playing this game. He will swirl around, select the color coding. Each color coding meant different kind of work. It could be a gardening, it could be helping the elders, it could really helping, it could do some social work, it could do cleaning work, housework, whatever that is. Uh, every time he'll do that job, he will get those little 5 points. Uh, and then he sees little tree growing. Adi grew up to be really fantastic boy because he always got paid for doing something good. Uh, so once you start getting rewards of what your action is, I think it's definitely it's going to make things very interesting. Karma in unfortunately always seen as the bad karma, or you do wrong, you will pay for it. But we never get paid for right things. It takes really long time. Adi grows up to be this amazing guy. He's helping environmental issue wherever there's a possibility because he enjoyed being good. He's participating Jan Lokpal, whatever, if it's a social environment and the human connect. But every time he buys and consumes things, this is about he has to pay back to the system. So it starts showing -20. This little band also helps you to choose the right thing because everyone wants to do good, but we don't know how to do those good. And it really helps you to choose right things at right moment to really find the right balance of our life. He does recycles, he keeps getting ping, 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 it's just all working out really well for him. It's very easy for him to be good at that moment because he knows he's going to get paid for. When he goes for how does it get this thing back? So imagine he's going for a job. His personal profile of karmas is plus 500 as compared to all the rest of them, which are just 200, minus 120, or even a 10. So this is going to help him find a job. And even the boss who gives him a right job earns a good karma because he's chosen a right person. So karma, it's really about, human, social, and environment, bringing it together. So what goes around instantly comes around. And that's the karma meter for everyone. So it's not bad to be a good, right? Because it's paying now. So that's the story. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Abhi. And I know we are running short of time. We can take maybe 1 or 2 questions max for Abhijit. Anybody has questions?
Yeah.
Sorry? Can you raise your hand, sir? Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, good morning. When I was going through that, you have mentioned culture being part of the design. Now, can you give any example which would demonstrate that, which would give us some idea?
So if you look at the products from India, if you look at the whole yoga industries grew, or there are a lot of softer aspect of the culture. We talk about peri-peri sauce sitting in here. We talk about the American culture of freedom, and Coke comes in here. American movies come in that. I think this exchange of cultures has to happen in some form. For us, it's never been so planned and technology enabled, but it was more of a cultures which so popular, in some way a pop culture which became a norm everywhere else. Whether it's curry in UK or you're doing Bollywood and yoga and across the globe. So we need to look at ourselves as a very strong something we have and build the theories and build the design stories around that. Use the technology and all the tools I was talking about and build the powerful products which could really be a global solution for what we're really doing. Because if Uber had to really customize, and Uber, Airbnb are genuine human problems, it doesn't matter where you come from. We all are aware we want to do good things and we don't know how to do it. Every time I'm sure all of us buy 500 plastic containers, there's some way we're thinking here, are we consuming like there's no tomorrow? Are we leaving something for next generation or not? But being preachy way is you can make it very light-hearted. Can we make it a game? Can we make it a fun? And these are the things you're learning from the various trends which are happening across. And Uber and the Airbnb has done a fantastic job, you know. And I think hence the culture being where you are, who you are, bringing that out in form of a process.
Thank you so much, Abhi. And